of you are very confidently sitting on these chairs. Now, if the chair that you are sitting on looked to you to be very rickety, you would have tested it first. Right, let me see how this is. You don't? How many of you look at a very, very rickety chair and then plant yourself down on it real solidly? No, you don't. You test it. Is this thing going to hold my weight? But see, that's faith. Faith is my assurance that that is going to hold my weight. Faith has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with what I can place my confidence in. That's faith. You see, for me to have faith, I must have something I can put my confidence in. Without something to put my confidence in, I have no faith. See, I'm convinced that God's people don't know what faith is. Faith is a very simple understanding that you place your confidence somewhere. That's all faith is. When a man and a woman marry, what do they place confidence in? The other person's integrity to keep the covenant of marriage. Now, if you don't know their integrity, you're an idiot. Because you're placing blind faith. Now, what is blind faith? Stupidity. In other words, I hope there's integrity. My goodness, I believe there's integrity there. When a couple gets to know each other, they better find out what the other one's integrity really is. They better find out, because when you exchange vows with somebody, you are investing in that person's integrity. And if there's no integrity there, your investment is going to give you a non-return. Your investment is going to fail if there is a lack of integrity, because you can only appeal to what is in the person. If it isn't there, there's nothing to appeal to. But people get married because they fall in love with each other, not because they test for integrity first. Am I right? When you marry, you are investing trust in somebody's words of love. But those words better be true. Because if they're not, your investment is a loss leader. Amen? Faith involves investment. The investment of trust and confidence in something or someone outside of yourself. When I counsel people for marriage, I tell them this whole deal stands or falls on this simple basis. And that is that when that person there gives their vow to you, they are basically telling you that they trust your integrity and that they trust you to be one thing, and that is a covenant keeper. But if you aren't a covenant keeper, they have exchanged their vow with the wrong person. Amen? You see, the world, Adam's sons, don't believe in covenant, and they don't believe in keeping it. That is why you don't do business with a crook. Because a crook has no covenant. Right? A crook has one purpose in mind, and that is his gain at your expense. That's a crook. But covenant involves protection for both parties. Because integrity rules this, and it's two people of integrity involving themselves in doing business with each other. So when I exchanged my vow with Nikki, I knew I was investing in a covenant keeper. I knew that. If I didn't know that, I would have had no business exchanging my vow with her. and receiving her vow. But I gave her mine, and she gave me hers, because we both had reached a sure understanding that each one of us, by the grace of God, already had a deep and abiding respect for the covenant of God. And because of that deep and abiding respect for that covenant, she and I could confidently exchange vows. That is what peace is. If you want peace, let's say you want to get married and you want to have a peaceful home. The only way you'll ever have a peaceful home is if that is a covenant home. Because the basis of shalom, which is peace, is covenant. No covenant, no shalom. And shalom doesn't only mean peace, it means well-being. It means things are going well with you. You see, you can read the comic books, and the comic books say people get married and they live happily ever after only if they are covenant beings who respect the covenant of God, who know that God is a covenant-keeping God, and somehow they are willing to live out that covenant together. That's the way it works. There's no such thing outside of an understanding of integrity between a man and a woman that there's going to be that there will be any happily ever after. That belongs in the fairy stories, right? That belongs to Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and all the rest of them. Because you can watch the story of Cinderella, for example, but you will see no reality going. You won't see a dynamic of that couple making a discovery of each other's integrity before they tied the knot. Right? Because here's the fact, you marry who you marry. And whoever that person is, that's the one you're going to live with. Right? And you're going to live with that person's view of covenant. You're going to live with that, whatever it is that person has to invest confidence in. There is no greater issue that needs to be more effectively weighed than that of marriage, because two people invest confidence in each other. And you can see by the culture that just really isn't the deal anymore. You know, the deal is you make me feel great about me, and the other person makes you. You know, it works both ways. We each feel great about each other when we're with each other, so let's get married. But getting married takes more than you making me feel good about me, right? Takes a whole lot more than that. You need to know. There are some of you sitting under the sound of my voice, you are not married. You need to know that you're investing in real integrity. You need to know that, because most people don't have real integrity. They live for themselves. That's not integrity. If I live for me, I have no integrity. But if I live for something greater than me, if I live for something outside of myself that has real meaning, that is the very covenant of God. If I live for that, then I've got something to offer. But outside, what do I have to offer? You say, what is this to do with vision? Everything. Everything. Because when a man and a woman marry, they have a vision for a life together. Don't they? They envision a life together. Well, a life together involves something that you must be able to place confidence in. Something you must be able to invest your trust in. And if that something is no greater than you, well, then what the heck have you got? That something must be greater than us. That something is the covenant that God has enacted, that God has created to govern all of life.